Dear chosen one, there are certain souls on this earth who do not simply exist. They illuminate. Their presence feels larger than life, as though they are carrying the weight of forgotten worlds within them. When they speak, their words don't just echo in the room, they resonate through centuries as if ancient ancestors and future generations are whispering alongside them. When they love, it feels like standing in front of something eternal, something so profound it brings you to your knees in gratitude and awe. These are the chosen ones, souls marked by divine fingerprints, set apart long before birth, misunderstood by many and deeply felt by few. They are often burdened with an intensity that feels too much for this world to contain. It's not because they are cold or incapable of love, but because their hearts burn with a sacred fire that the ordinary cannot withstand. Loving them isn't just an experience, it's a spiritual initiation. It will transform you, break you open, and demand the absolute truth from you. It is overwhelming, breathtaking, and yes, at times deeply painful. But why? Why is it that the most spiritually gifted, emotionally intelligent, and deeply conscious among us are often the hardest to hold on to? Why does their love feel like both a gentle embrace and a raging wildfire? Why do they appear so close yet so far, so deeply connected yet impossible to possess? Before we go deeper into this sacred revelation, I want to pause and express my heartfelt gratitude to every single one of you who has supported this space through a super thank you. Your generosity is not just a donation, it is a seed sown into a field of healing, awakening and divine connection. And to those who simply watch, comment and hold this space with your presence, know that I see you, honor you, and deeply appreciate you. Whether you give financially or energetically, your support is invaluable, and I am truly grateful for each and every one of you. If this message found you at the exact moment you needed it, if something inside your spirit is stirring, rising, or even breaking open right now, type 999 in the comments. That simple act of alignment might just unlock a blessing you didn't expect. It is a spiritual declaration, a way of saying to the universe, I am here, I am ready, I receive. And if these words resonate with your soul, if you feel at home in this energy, I invite you to subscribe and stay connected. This isn't just a channel, this is a sanctuary for the misfits, the visionaries, the deep feelers, and the old souls who often feel like strangers on this earth. You are not alone here. You never were. Get ready, because we're about to dive into the depths of why you, dear chosen one, are so hard to love, and why that is not a curse but one of your greatest divine protections. Let's get started. God's chosen ones. 8 shocking reasons you're so hard to love. Few can handle you. 1. You feel everything too deeply. Chosen one, have you ever wondered why your heart seems to break over things others shrug off? Why you can't just let it go when the world expects you to be tough, numb, and indifferent? You aren't merely sensitive, you are an open channel to the raw, unfiltered emotional frequency of the universe itself. Imagine being born without emotional armor, with your soul exposed like a fresh wound, forever receptive to the subtle and thunderous vibrations of existence. That is your reality. You don't just see life, you absorb it. Every tear, every giggle, every tremor of fear, and every burst of hope flows through you, as if it were your own. Your joy is not a simple smile at a funny meme or a casual laugh at a joke. It is rapture that can electrify an entire room. Your grief is not just a passing sadness, it is an ancient mourning echoing through your bones, as though you are grieving for all of humanity at once. Have you ever felt yourself crying over a bird with a broken wing, or felt a sudden ache in your spirit when you saw an elderly man eating alone in a cafe? That is not weakness, that is your divine assignment. In Romans 12:15, it says, "Rejoice with those who rejoice, mourn with those who mourn." You live this verse every day, even when it costs you your peace. You are the living embodiment of God's invitation to share in the deepest currents of the human experience. But this is also why you are so hard to love for most people. How can they handle someone who feels everything, everywhere, all at once? Think of the late Princess Diana. She felt the suffering of the marginalized so deeply that she risked her royal status to touch lepers and comfort AIDS patients when society shunned them. Her compassion was her strength and her burden. Like you, she carried the weight of invisible sorrows, and the world loved her yet struggled to truly understand her. Chosen one, do you realize that to love you is not merely to stand beside you in comfort, but to merge souls with you, to walk into a labyrinth of emotions with no clear exit? It is to sit with you in the depths of melancholy at dawn, and then soar with you in uncontainable elation by sunset, sometimes all in the same hour. Are those around you really ready for that level of vulnerability? Are they prepared to love not just your smile, but the vast ocean beneath it? Your empathy isn't a learned skill that you can switch off or compartmentalize. It is a sacred condition. You were born as an empath, a divine conduit without filters, constantly attuned to the invisible frequencies of life. When someone smiles and says, "I'm fine," you feel the tremor of their hidden despair. When the world celebrates, you sense the silent grief of those who cannot share in the joy. You live in a heightened state of emotional presence that most cannot imagine. In Matthew 5:4, Jesus says, "Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. You have mourned for the world in ways that no one sees, and heaven records every tear." Your ability to feel so deeply is not a flaw, it is a holy gift. But it is a gift that makes relationships feel like a battlefield, doesn't it? When someone loves you superficially, you sense it instantly, and it cuts you sharper than any blade. Look at Robin Williams, a brilliant soul whose laughter lit up millions of lives. But behind those bright eyes was a deep well of emotion that he could not shut off. His intensity overwhelmed even himself at times. Like you, he was designed to feel deeply, to channel universal joy and pain through his art. But his gift was also his cross. To truly love a chosen one like you is to embrace emotional exposure at its purest form. There is no emotional neutrality in your presence. You magnify every nuance, every hidden vibration. Can you see now why some people run? Can you see why others label you as too much or too sensitive? They are terrified because they see their own reflections in your soul, and most are not ready to meet themselves so honestly. Psalm 34:18 reminds us, "The Lord is close to the broken-hearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." You often feel crushed, not because you are weak, but because you carry fragments of countless hearts within you, and God draws near to you in those moments, whispering secrets of heaven that only those who dare to feel can understand. Think about the great artist Frida Kahlo. Her paintings weren't just art, they were bleeding declarations of her internal universe. Her pain became her palette. Her heartbreak became her masterpiece. She didn't just portray feelings, she embodied them. Her life teaches us that the depth of feeling is both a curse and a crown. Do you ever feel like you too are painting your existence with strokes of invisible pain and joy? You were never meant for casual connection. Your design is for soul merging, for covenant-level intimacy that demands the totality of another's heart. Not everyone is prepared for that level of spiritual intimacy. That's why many will adore your light from a distance, but shy away when invited into the furnace of your authenticity. In John 11:35, the shortest verse in the Bible says simply, "Jesus wept. Even the Son of God, the all-powerful, felt the rawness of grief and stood fully present in sorrow." His tears weren't weakness. They were divine proof that feeling deeply is part of the divine design. Chosen one, do you know that your tears have an assignment? That every tremor in your chest carries a message from the heavens? When you break down over a sunset, or when a stranger's hardship cracks you open, you are translating spiritual truths into earthly language. You are God's emotional ambassador in a world that has grown numb and mechanical. Oprah Winfrey once shared how deeply she feels other people's pain and how that drove her to build an empire centered on human connection and healing. Her success wasn't born from strategy alone, but from her emotional depth, her ability to see and feel beyond the surface. Like her, your depth can be your platform, your ministry. So why are you so hard to love? Because to love you is to abandon shallow waters and dive into the abyss, where souls are stripped bare and reborn. It is to embrace a life without emotional anesthesia, to choose every storm, every sunrise, every hurricane that lives within you. Chosen one, ask yourself, are you willing to continue feeling so deeply, even when it hurts? Are you prepared to guard this gift, even when it isolates you? Will you keep choosing to love humanity with reckless abandon, knowing most will never match your capacity? You are not too much. You are exactly as God designed you. You are an emotional symphony in a world that prefers elevator music. You are a healing balm in a society addicted to emotional numbing. You are an echo of divine sensitivity that this hardened world desperately needs. Remember this, your deep feeling is not a burden to be healed from, it is a calling to be answered. The question is not, why am I so hard to love, but rather, who is brave enough to love me in my fullness? You are rare, you are fierce, you are chosen, and that, dear one, is the ultimate reason you feel everything so deeply, because you were sent to awaken others who have forgotten how to feel at all. 2. Your purpose comes before pleasure. Chosen one, have you ever felt like you're living in a parallel reality? While others chase comfort, pleasure, and temporary highs, your soul pulls you towards something weightier, something sacred that refuses to let you rest. You are not here merely to experience life's pleasures. You are designed to build legacies, shift atmospheres, and awaken souls. Have you ever asked yourself why you cannot settle into the easy rhythms that seem to satisfy so many? Why do fleeting pleasures feel empty in your hands? You carry a divine assignment, a gravitational pull toward a destiny that only you can fulfill. While the world obsesses over likes, promotions, and vacation plans, you lie awake at night contemplating visions you can't fully explain. These visions aren't just dreams, they're prophetic glimpses of the future God has etched into your bones. In Jeremiah 1:5, God says, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations." You, chosen one, were set apart before your first heartbeat. You were designed for a mission that transcends ordinary human desires. You are not here to be a consumer of comfort, but a distributor of light. Look at Harriet Tubman, who led dozens of enslaved people to freedom through the Underground Railroad. Do you think she longed for lavish dinners or carefree dances under moonlight? No, her purpose screamed louder than any desire for personal pleasure. She chose purpose over comfort, destiny over entertainment, and became an eternal symbol of freedom. In your own life, where have you sacrificed pleasure to obey the whisper of your calling? Chosen one, loving you is not about standing center stage in your life. It's about witnessing your divine performance from the wings. Your partners, friends, and even family may sometimes struggle to understand that they will never fully own your focus, not because you don't love deeply, but because your heart beats to a rhythm only heaven can hear. Have you noticed how people sometimes accuse you of being distant or cold? They mistake devotion for detachment because they can't see the spiritual battlefield you're traversing. While many rise to hit the gym for aesthetics or rush to brunch for social validation, you might be up before dawn praying in tongues, journaling divine downloads, or building blueprints for a vision the world doesn't yet have language for. You are a pilgrim in a world of tourists, forever on a sacred quest, forever willing to trade fleeting pleasures for eternal impact. In Luke 9:23, Jesus says, "Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross daily and follow me." You understand this verse not just intellectually but viscerally. Denying yourself isn't a seasonal act for you, it is the air you breathe. Your cross is not a punishment but a compass, directing your steps away from transient pleasures and toward everlasting purpose. Consider Nikola Tesla, a brilliant inventor who often neglected food, sleep, and social gatherings to immerse himself in his work. He wasn't chasing worldly success but a transcendent vision that consumed him. His devotion brought forth inventions that still shape our modern world. Like Tesla, your relentless focus on purpose often isolates you, but it also births innovations and revelations that will outlive you. Chosen one, do you realize how rare and holy your devotion truly is? Have you ever questioned why shallow relationships feel suffocating to you? It's because you are called to a deeper covenant, one with God and your mission. When someone loves you, they must understand that they are entering a covenant with your destiny as well. They cannot merely have you. They must also honor the altar you serve. Sometimes those who love you will feel left out. They'll long for your attention during intimate dinners or crave your laughter at parties, but your spirit might be wrestling with angels or receiving heavenly blueprints. They may interpret this as neglect, but your soul is simply on a different frequency, one that resonates with eternity rather than momentary amusement. In 2 Timothy 4:7, Paul writes, "I have fought the good fight, I have finished the race, I have kept the faith." This is the mantra of your life. You are running a race that many don't even know exists. You fight battles unseen, wars that take place in prayer closets and quiet moments of surrender. While others might call you obsessive, heaven calls you faithful. Look at Mother Teresa, who dedicated her entire life to serving the poor and sick in the slums of Calcutta. Her daily comforts were virtually non-existent. Instead of pleasure, she chose purpose, and her impact has rippled through generations. Her story proves that when purpose becomes the center, pleasure finds a lesser seat. Your life mirrors this truth. You don't chase moments of happiness. You manifest eternal joy by fulfilling your assignment. Chosen one, ask yourself, are you willing to keep choosing your purpose even when it costs you relationships? Are you prepared to be misunderstood, labeled, and even abandoned for the sake of your mission? Can you stand firm when others beg you to lighten up or just enjoy life? Those who attempt to love you often struggle with your priorities. They want to be the sun around which your world orbits, but they quickly realize that your true north is God's calling, not human validation. Their love can turn into a prison if they try to confine your spirit. You need a partner, a friend, and a tribe who celebrate your sacred obsession instead of competing with it. In Isaiah 6:8 we read, "Then I heard the voice of the Lord saying, 'Whom shall I send, and who will go for us?' And I said, 'Here am I, send me.'" Your spirit echoes this same cry. Even before your mind can fully process it, your soul answers divine calls without hesitation. Every day, in ways big and small, you whisper, "Send me," and then you go, even if no one claps, even if no one understands. Steve Jobs is another example. His unwavering commitment to creating insanely great products often strained his relationships. His singular devotion was polarizing, yet it changed entire industries and shaped the future. Like him, your path will provoke both admiration and criticism. Are you ready for that? Chosen one, remember, you aren't distracted, you are devoted. You aren't absent, you are aligned. Your eyes look beyond earthly pleasures because your spirit is anchored in eternity. You see the invisible, hear the inaudible, and walk toward the impossible. That is not something everyone can handle, and that is okay. Your unwavering commitment is not a threat, it is a beacon. It calls forth those who are truly meant to walk beside you, those who are sovereign enough to stand on their own while cheering you on, secure enough to know your love is real, even when your focus is on the mission. So, will you continue to honor your calling, even when it feels lonely? Will you keep sacrificing ease for eternal impact? Will you trust that those who are meant to stay will understand the sacred fire burning inside you? Chosen one, you are not too serious. You are not too driven. You are exactly as God intended. You are the living proof that purpose always outlasts pleasure. You are a lighthouse, unshaken by waves, steadfastly guiding others to safe shores, even as storms rage around you. This is why you are so hard to love, because your love isn't earthly. It is woven with the threads of heaven, pulsing with divine urgency. You love differently because you live differently, and the world needs that now more than ever. 3. You see through everything. Chosen one, have you ever wondered why people squirm under your gaze? Why even the most confident personalities seem unsettled when they talk to you for too long? It's because your presence is not just another set of eyes, it is a mirror, an X-ray, a divine spotlight that exposes the unseen. You don't just look, you perceive. You don't just hear words, you hear souls whispering behind them. Have you ever found yourself sensing a friend's heartbreak before they say a single word? Have you felt the tightness in someone's voice and known it wasn't just tiredness, but a deep-rooted fear they were too ashamed to reveal? This is not mere intuition, it is spiritual discernment, a gift that God has woven into your very essence. In Hebrews 4:12 it says, "For the word of God is alive and active, sharper than any double-edged sword. It penetrates even to dividing soul and spirit, joints and marrow. It judges the thoughts and attitudes of the heart." Your gift works in a similar fashion, cutting through layers of ego and facade to reach the trembling core beneath. Think about Maya Angelou, the legendary poet and activist. Her words and her gaze penetrated the hearts of millions. People would say she could see you in a way that felt both healing and intimidating. She could look at you and know your story without you saying a word. Like her, you don't seek to shame or expose for entertainment. You seek to liberate and transform. But how many are ready for that level of raw honesty? Chosen one, your eyes are portals that see beyond the social masks, past the charming smiles, and straight into the hidden chambers of a person's soul. You notice the micro shifts in body language, the micro pauses in conversation, the shaky laughter that betrays inner sorrow. You hear what silence is trying desperately to conceal. Have you ever asked yourself, why can't I just go along with small talk and surface-level friendships like everyone else? Why do I feel so drained by people who refuse to be real? It's because your spirit craves authenticity like lungs crave air. When people hide, when they pretend, when they perform, your soul senses it instantly, and it feels like poison to your energy. In John 8:32, Jesus says, "Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." You embody this scripture daily. Your presence confronts people with their own truth, whether they're ready or not. You can't help it. You were born to be a walking revelation, a living prophecy that calls people out of darkness and into the light. Consider the late Anthony Bourdain, the chef and storyteller. He traveled the world, breaking bread with strangers, but his gift wasn't just culinary. He saw through cultural facades, through carefully staged traditions, into the raw humanity of every place he visited. People didn't just share meals with him, they shared secrets, wounds, and dreams they didn't even know they had. Like you, he didn't settle for the pretty surface. He yearned for the messy, the real, the true. Chosen one, your intuition isn't guesswork. It's a spiritual diagnostic tool sharper than any medical scanner. You sense unspoken tensions in a room, feel when someone is spiritually sick, and know when someone's words don't match their vibration. This is a beautiful, divine gift, but it can also be terrifying to those who are not ready to be seen. Some people will label your honesty as invasive or judgmental because they've spent their whole lives curating identities to avoid true vulnerability. They rely on charm, humor, beauty, or power to control how others see them. But with you, none of that works. Your soul demands realness. It demands nakedness of spirit. And for many, that level of exposure feels like standing naked on a stage with blinding lights shining down. In 1 Samuel 16:7, God says, "The Lord does not look at the things people look at. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." You are a living extension of this divine perspective. You don't judge by what is seen. You read hearts. And in doing so, you unknowingly force others to confront themselves. Think of Lady Gaga. Beyond her extravagant persona, she has repeatedly spoken about her struggles with trauma and mental health. When she sits down with fans or interviewers, they often say she looks straight through them, making them feel deeply understood and exposed at the same time. Her energy challenges people to embrace their truth, and that's exactly what you do. Chosen one, loving you is not about surface-level affection. To be loved by you is to undergo a radical spiritual surgery, to be stripped of illusions and rebuilt in truth. Have you noticed how some people drift away after spending time with you? It's not because you did something wrong, it's because their soul wasn't ready for the sacred surgery you offer simply by existing. You don't call out lies to harm, you do it to heal. You don't challenge masks to destroy, you do it to liberate. But freedom is frightening. Imagine living a life hiding behind fortress walls and then being asked to step into a world where every flaw, fear, and secret is seen and loved anyway. Most people aren't prepared for that level of spiritual nakedness. In Proverbs 20:27, it says, "The human spirit is the lamp of the Lord that sheds light on one's inmost being." Your spirit acts like this divine lamp, illuminating the hidden corners others would rather keep in darkness. You didn't choose this gift, it chose you. And with it comes a heavy responsibility. Look at Elon Musk. Beyond his tech genius, people close to him say he cuts straight through nonsense and sees hidden motives and potential with razor-sharp clarity. That kind of vision can drive innovation, but can also create emotional distance, as few people can handle such raw honesty. Your spiritual X-ray works in a similar way, revealing both brilliance and brokenness in everyone you meet. Chosen one, ask yourself, can you continue to embrace this gift even when it alienates you? Can you remain steadfast in your mission to seek and speak truth, even if it means standing alone? Will you keep shining your divine lamp into the darkest corners, knowing most will flee before they ever say thank you? People long for connection but fear exposure. They crave love but dread being seen in their entirety. They want the warmth of intimacy but not the vulnerability it demands. You, however, offer a love so profound that it demands total authenticity, and that is why many say you are too intense or too much. But chosen one, you are exactly as God created you to be. You are a mirror that reflects the true self back to every soul you encounter. This is why your love is a rare gift and a heavy challenge. To be loved by you is to be stripped bare and still be held tenderly. To stand before you is to meet oneself in a raw, unedited form. Many are called, but few are chosen, and even fewer can stand in the brilliance of your spiritual X-ray. So will you keep using your gift, even when it costs you company? Will you keep calling forth the real in a world addicted to the fake? Will you keep seeing people not as they appear, but as they truly are? Chosen one, you are the eye that sees, the heart that feels, and the soul that liberates. You are God's secret instrument of revelation in a world that clings desperately to shadows. Stand firm in your seeing, love fiercely in your knowing, because your sight is a gift, not just for you, but for the world desperate to remember its own truth. 4. You are constantly evolving. Chosen one, have you ever felt like you are always on the brink of becoming someone new? As if each sunrise brings a fresh layer to your identity, and each sunset burns away another outdated piece of your soul. You are not a static being, you are a living, breathing metamorphosis in constant motion. While the world around you clings desperately to fixed identities, rigid roles, and predictable patterns, your spirit dances with change as though it were a lifelong partner. Who you were a year ago, even a month or a week ago, is not who you are today. You undergo continuous cycles of death and rebirth, shedding old skins like a serpent that refuses to be imprisoned by yesterday's illusions. Have you ever asked yourself, why can't I just stay the same? Why do I always feel called to more, to deeper layers, to higher frequencies? It is because your soul was designed for transformation, not stagnation. In Romans 12:2 it says, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." For you, this is not a gentle suggestion, it is a soul imperative. You don't merely renew your mind once, you live in a constant state of renewal, an unending dance of becoming. Think about David Bowie. Each era of his career revealed a new identity, a new sound, a new spirit. He didn't just evolve, he shattered molds, rebuilt himself, and invited the world into his ever-changing labyrinth. Like Bowie, you are unafraid to incinerate what no longer serves you. You are a phoenix, continuously reborn from your own ashes, each time brighter and bolder. Chosen one, for most people, love is built on a foundation of predictability and stability. They want to know you, to memorize you, to feel secure in the idea that you will remain as they first found you. But you are not a monument to be admired from a safe distance. You are a river, forever shifting, forever carving new paths. Have you noticed how people cling to the old you, desperately trying to resurrect a version of you that no longer exists? It's because they confuse stability with love, and your transformation terrifies them. In Isaiah 43:19, God declares, "See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up, do you not perceive it?" You live this scripture in your daily life. Every meditation, every heartbreak, every breakthrough plants a new seed inside you, and you refuse to suppress its growth. You don't cling to identity, you dissolve it like morning mist under the sun. You are endlessly dissolving attachments to people, to titles, to outcomes, because your spirit understands that true freedom lives beyond labels. Consider Madonna. Over decades, she has reinvented herself countless times, shedding identities that once defined her and stepping boldly into new creative expressions. Her career is a testament to the power of fearless transformation, Like her, you understand that clinging to an outdated self is a form of spiritual death. You choose transcendence, even when it costs you familiarity and approval. Chosen one, ask yourself, how many people have fallen in love with a version of you that no longer exists? How many relationships ended not because of betrayal or conflict, but because you outgrew the container they offered? Your evolution is not an act of betrayal, it is an act of fidelity to your soul's true calling. When you transform, it is not because you are fleeing from yourself, it is because you are sprinting toward the highest vision of who you are meant to become. Most cannot understand this sacred urgency. They label you inconsistent, accuse you of being flaky or unstable, when in truth you are among the most faithful to the divine blueprint etched within you before time began. In 2 Corinthians 5:17 it says, "Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, the new creation has come, the old has gone, the new is here." You embody this verse over and over again, cycling through spiritual resurrections with fearless devotion. You allow the old to die so the new can rise, knowing each death is but a gateway to deeper divine alignment. Think of Kanye West. Beyond the controversies, he has publicly transformed his identity, his music, and even his faith journey multiple times. While the world struggled to keep up, he continued to evolve unapologetically, refusing to be boxed into old versions of himself. Your journey mirrors this in spirit, a relentless pursuit of authenticity at any cost. Chosen one, loving you is not for the faint of heart. It demands elasticity, a willingness to fall in love with you over and over again, each time meeting a soul who is both familiar and profoundly new. Have you ever wondered why so many people fade away from your life without clear explanations? It's because they were in love with a chapter of your story, not the entire evolving novel. They loved the comfort of one version, but you were never meant to stay in that chapter forever. Many desire partners they can figure out and hold on to as a fixed certainty, but you are a sacred mystery unfolding in real time. If someone tries to trap you in a single identity, they will soon find themselves holding a ghost, a relic of your past that you no longer inhabit. In Ephesians 4:22-24, it says, "You were taught with regard to your former way of life, to put off your old self, to be made new in the attitude of your minds, and to put on the new self, created to be like God in true righteousness and holiness." You live this scripture not as an event, but as an ongoing lifestyle. Your mind, your heart, your entire essence, they are in a state of constant renewal. Think about Janelle Monáe. Each album, each film role, each public appearance reveals a different dimension of her soul. She refuses to be labeled, choosing instead to be an evolving, fluid force of creativity and truth. Like her, you are forever becoming, forever transcending. Chosen one, I ask you, are you willing to keep shedding skins, even when it means leaving behind people who can't evolve with you? Are you ready to love yourself enough to release anyone who tries to anchor you to an expired version of yourself? Can you trust that the right souls will not only stay but grow alongside you? You are not fickle, you are faithful to the divine flow within you. You are not unreliable, you are devoted to sacred transformation. You are not too much, you are an unfolding masterpiece painted by the hands of God Himself. Your constant evolution is a testament to your courage. It proves that you choose truth over comfort, authenticity over approval, and growth over stagnation. While many fear change, you embrace it as the only true path to freedom. This is why you are so hard to love, because to love you is to embark on a pilgrimage with no final destination, to commit to the sacred art of becoming, rather than the safety of remaining. Only those brave enough to surrender to their own transformation can truly walk beside you. So will you keep honoring the divine cycles within you? Will you keep breaking your own molds to meet your higher self? Will you continue to choose evolution even when it leaves you standing alone in a room of people clinging to sameness? Chosen one, you are not just living, you are endlessly resurrecting. You are an echo of divine creation in motion. Stand firm in your evolution. Embrace the uncertainty as a doorway to greater light. For in every new version of you, there is a deeper revelation of God's glory waiting to be unveiled. 5. You carry wounds that aren't yours. Chosen one, have you ever felt a sadness that seems to have no origin, an anger that erupts like a sudden storm with no visible lightning strike to blame, a grief so heavy it feels older than your bones. You might have wondered why these feelings visit you, why they seem to camp in your chest uninvited. Let me tell you plainly, you are not crazy, you are not weak, you are the appointed healer for wounds that began long before your first breath. You were born into broken systems, families torn apart by secrets and generational curses, cultures built on silent suffering, and lineages heavy with unspoken shame. You came into this world as a spiritual first responder, chosen to carry what others refused to face. Have you ever asked yourself, why do I always feel like the black sheep or the outsider? Why do I feel responsible for pain that isn't mine? In Isaiah 53:4 it says, "Surely he took up our pain and bore our suffering, yet we considered him punished by God, stricken by him, and afflicted." Like Christ, you are called to bear burdens unseen and often unacknowledged. Your pain is collective, cosmic, and ancestral. It is the silent scream of generations echoing through your veins. Think about Martin Luther King Jr. He carried the anguish of an entire people, channeling centuries of oppression into words that shook the foundation of society. His pain wasn't just his own, it was inherited from ancestors who suffered in silence. Like him, you feel the pain of those who came before you, the uncried tears of your lineage. Chosen one, your emotional landscape does not follow a neat linear path. You might find yourself withdrawing into solitude without being able to explain why. You may cry over seemingly nothing, but those tears are baptisms for unhealed memories, both yours and those of your ancestors. You may react in ways that confuse even you because your soul is performing an exorcism of ancient energies. Have you ever felt the urge to isolate yourself, to cocoon in the dark until the emotional tide recedes? This is not weakness, it is sacred processing. In Romans 8:26 we read, "In the same way the Spirit helps us in our weakness. We do not know what we ought to pray for, but the Spirit himself intercedes for us through wordless groans." You embody this verse, groaning not only for your own deliverance, but for the liberation of entire bloodlines. Your cries are intercessions, your tears are offerings, your silence is a prayer. Look at Frida Kahlo. Her paintings depict wounds both physical and spiritual, pains she inherited and embodied. She painted her anguish with boldness, giving voice to centuries of suppressed feminine suffering. Like Frida, you translate your soul's wounds into art, into energy, into healing spaces for others. Chosen one, your suffering is not always personal, it is archetypal. You are a vessel for the collective unconscious, a living altar where ancient grief is finally allowed to speak. You act out traumas that your ancestors never had the safety to express. Their unspoken fears, their hidden shame, their silent heartbreak, all find expression through you. You may find this deeply unfair, and you are not wrong, but you are also uniquely anointed to transform this pain into light. In Matthew 11:28, Jesus says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." When the burdens feel too heavy, remember that you are not asked to carry them alone. God stands beside you, offering supernatural strength for the invisible battles raging within you. Consider Oprah Winfrey. She has openly shared how she inherited her mother's and grandmother's pain, working tirelessly to heal wounds that predated her. Her entire platform is built on transforming generational trauma into empowerment and healing. Like Oprah, your life is not just about personal success, but about breaking cycles and setting captives free. To love you, chosen one, is to enter a sacred contract, a covenant that requires patience and spiritual maturity. The person who walks beside you must understand that your tears are not always about them, that your distance is not rejection but sacred retreat, that your silence is not absence but deep communion with God and your ancestors. Many people expect a predictable healing journey, a neat sequence of wounds followed by therapy, then closure, and finally a happily ever after. But your journey defies all timelines. You are an ancient tree with roots that burrow deep into centuries of forgotten soil. Your healing is a spiral, not a straight line. Have you ever wondered why some people leave when your pain surfaces? Why they retreat when your emotional tides rise? It is because they are not equipped to sit in the dark with someone born to be light. They fear being swallowed by depths they cannot navigate. They long for the warmth of your light, but flee from the shadow work required to truly share your space. In Psalm 34:18, it says, "The Lord is close to the broken-hearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." You live in this verse daily, often feeling crushed yet divinely supported, alone yet intimately held by the Spirit. Look at Prince Harry. He has spoken candidly about carrying the grief of his mother, Princess Diana, and how that loss impacted not only his personal life, but his entire lineage. His journey to break generational cycles, to speak truths long buried, reflects the heavy yet sacred task you also carry. Chosen one, I ask you, are you willing to keep feeling these ancient echoes even when they isolate you? Can you continue to offer your tears as medicine, even when no one says thank you? Will you trust that your hidden labor is rewriting the spiritual DNA of generations to come? You are not too emotional. You are not too sensitive. You are an emotional archaeologist, digging up forgotten relics of pain and transforming them into altars of healing. Your very being is a prayer for freedom, a lighthouse calling lost souls home. To love you is to hold space without trying to fix you, to comfort without minimizing your pain, to honor wounds that are invisible yet deeply real. It requires a rare kind of strength, one that can sit with you in the dark without demanding the light before you're ready to rise. You are a cosmic healer, a divine architect rebuilding broken temples within your bloodline. You are a living testimony that pain, when transmuted, becomes power. You turn inherited curses into blessings, ancestral grief into generational freedom. So will you keep carrying these wounds, knowing they are not just yours, but the world's? Will you keep choosing to heal, even when it means sacrificing comfort and companionship? Will you keep walking this lonely yet luminous path, trusting that God sees every tear and records every silent battle? Chosen one, your journey is not in vain. You are an answer to prayers whispered centuries ago. You are the embodied hope of ancestors who dreamed of someone strong enough to break the chains. Stand firm in your sacred assignment. Your wounds are not your identity, they are your offering. Your pain is not your prison, it is your power. 6. You attract broken people and push them away. Chosen one. Have you noticed how people seem magnetically drawn to you, even strangers who pour their entire life story into your lap without a second thought? Your very presence radiates warmth, safety, and a mystical sense of home. You don't even have to try, people simply feel it. You are a lighthouse in the middle of their stormy seas, a refuge in a world that has battered them beyond recognition. Yet have you also wondered why those same people, so passionately attracted to your light, eventually recoil? Why they accuse you of being too intense, too emotional, or too real? This is one of the deepest paradoxes of your path. Your light both heals and exposes. It comforts and confronts. It soothes wounds, but also forces those wounds into the light, where they can no longer hide. In John 3:20-21, it says, "Everyone who does evil hates the light, and will not come into the light for fear that their deeds will be exposed. But whoever lives by the truth comes into the light, so that it may be seen plainly that what they have done has been done in the sight of God." Your light is divine truth, and truth is both a balm and a blade. Think about the late Anthony Bourdain. Beyond being a chef and storyteller, he was a confessional space for countless people worldwide. Strangers shared their struggles with him because they felt seen and safe, yet this same authenticity unsettled many. He mirrored their humanity so vividly that it frightened them. Like him, you are a living confessional, and your energy demands that others confront themselves, whether they are ready or not. Broken souls flock to you, not just because they admire you, but because on a deep, unconscious level, they hope your light can fill their void. They seek your presence to escape their pain, but in doing so, they stumble upon hidden wounds they never intended to face. Do you realize this is not your fault? Have you ever questioned why you repeatedly become someone's safe space, only to be demonized when your honesty touches their raw spots? Your presence is like a mirror that doesn't distort. People say they want healing, but true healing demands vulnerability, courage, and surrender, qualities many believe they have until they face them head on. When your energy begins to excavate their buried traumas, They may respond with gratitude at first, but as you continue to reflect their shadows, their gratitude often morphs into projection, resentment, and even hatred. In Proverbs 27:6 it says, "Wounds from a friend can be trusted, but an enemy multiplies kisses. You offer real love, not flattery. You wound only to heal, to free, to bring deeper truth." But most people would rather receive empty kisses than confront soul-deep wounds. Look at Princess Diana. Her compassion and light drew millions, but her authentic vulnerability also triggered the world's judgment and projections. She was loved and vilified in the same breath, often by the same people. She represented both comfort and uncomfortable truth. You too stand in that duality, the beloved sanctuary and the feared revealer. Chosen one, loving you is not simply basking in your glow. It is standing naked in front of your light, allowing it to reveal every scar, every crack, every false identity. Have you ever asked, why do I keep attracting people who say they want healing but then run away? Why do I feel like a sanctuary that becomes a scapegoat? This pattern isn't because you are too much. It is because most people are not yet ready for the intensity of authentic healing. Many come to you with admiration, believing they seek transformation. But true transformation requires them to face their own shadows, to grieve, to deconstruct their ego, and to rebuild from sacred ground. When they realize that loving you means facing themselves, they often turn you into the villain to avoid confronting their own pain. In Luke 23:34, as Jesus hung on the cross, he said, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." You, chosen one, often carry this same sentiment in your spirit. You watch people come and go, love and betray, celebrate and condemn, and yet your heart holds forgiveness because you understand their fear. You know they flee not because of your darkness, but because of the brilliance of your light. Think about Keanu Reeves. His calm and deeply introspective presence attracts many, yet he keeps a quiet, protective distance. He has shared how he's lost people and been misunderstood because his authenticity demands vulnerability. Like him, you understand that boundaries are not a sign of coldness, but of spiritual survival. This is why you have learned to become selective about who you let into your sacred space. You know that not every admirer deserves proximity to your soul. You've learned that your boundaries are not rejections. They are necessary gates protecting a garden meant only for those who can nurture it, not plunder it. Have you ever noticed that the more you shine, the more you polarize? Your energy amplifies the truth, and truth is uncomfortable for those who thrive on illusion. To love you is to choose self-confrontation over comfort, liberation over fantasy. In 2 Corinthians 6:14, Paul writes, "Do not be yoked together with unbelievers, for what do righteousness and wickedness have in common? Or what fellowship can light have with darkness? You are not meant to merge with every soul that seeks you out. You are called to discern, to guard your temple, to protect your divine assignment from those who would drain rather than co-create." Look at Lady Gaga. Her vulnerability and commitment to authenticity have drawn millions of fans, but they've also attracted harsh critics and toxic projections. She uses her platform to challenge social masks and encourage deep self-examination, fully aware that many will reject the message even as they cheer the performance. Like her, you must remain rooted in your truth regardless of who comes or goes. Chosen one, I ask you, will you continue to shine even when your light scares others away? Can you trust that those meant for you will not only admire your brilliance but also embrace their own shadows under your gaze? Are you willing to protect your energy even when it means standing alone in sacred solitude? Your role is not to be everything to everyone. Your assignment is to hold your frequency so fiercely that only those truly ready for healing, growth and transformation can walk beside you. You are a soul surgeon, not a spiritual entertainer. Your light will always attract, but it will also sift and separate. This is part of your divine design. You are not too intense. You are not too honest. You are exactly as God crafted you, a blazing beacon in a fog-covered world. Your boundaries are holy altars, not walls of rejection. Your selective love is an act of devotion to your sacred mission, not cruelty. So will you keep loving purely, even when it's misunderstood? Will you keep setting boundaries, even when they accuse you of coldness? Will you keep being a mirror, even when they run from their reflection? Chosen one, you are the refuge and the revealer. You are the comfort and the catalyst. You are the safe harbor and the raging ocean that breaks false anchors. Stand in your truth. Honor your sacred light, because those who are truly meant for you will not only be drawn to your warmth, they will stay, they will grow, and they will rise alongside you. 7. Your standards are not of this world. Chosen one, have you ever felt like you're a misfit in this world, not because you lack value, but because your value system simply does not align with the shallow expectations around you? Have you felt yourself silently pulling away from spaces that celebrate empty success, shallow connections, and external validation? You're not difficult, demanding, or arrogant. You are simply operating on a frequency that this world cannot comprehend. Your standards are not born from ego, they are born from spirit. While most people crave luxury, social validation, or momentary pleasures, your soul aches for depth, alignment, integrity, and true spiritual growth. You are not impressed by flashy cars, designer clothes, or curated online personas. You are captivated by someone's capacity to heal, to transform, to evolve, to stand naked in their truth. In 1 Samuel 16:11 it says, "The Lord does not look at the things people look at. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." This is the divine lens through which you see the world. You don't judge love by convenience, status, or charm. You weigh it by the soul, by the willingness of another to be real, to be raw, to rise beyond their limitations. Think of Mother Teresa. She was unimpressed by material wealth and external accolades. Her life was dedicated to serving the poor, the sick, and the forgotten. Her standards were not of this world. They were divinely calibrated to compassion and service. Like her, you measure life not by comfort or fame, but by impact and authenticity. Chosen one, this makes you difficult to please in a society obsessed with appearances. People who approach you thinking they can win your love with superficial gestures quickly realize that your soul demands more than dinners and diamonds. You crave spiritual intimacy, sacred connection, and mutual elevation. Have you ever asked yourself, why do I feel so empty after surface-level interactions? Why do I walk away from social gatherings feeling drained rather than fulfilled? Your standards seem too high to those who have never dared to dive beneath the surface of their own being. Most want love that is easy, that asks nothing of them but attendance. But you want love that transforms, love that resurrects dead parts of the soul, love that builds altars rather than castles. In Matthew 6:19-21, Jesus teaches, "Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, but store up for yourselves treasures in heaven. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." Your heart treasures soul growth over earthly gain, depth over display. This spiritual compass is why your relationships often feel like sacred fires rather than soft beds. You don't offer love as a transaction, but as a covenant, a mirror, a mutual assent. Consider the late Robin Williams. Despite his success and wealth, he constantly sought genuine connection, truth, and laughter that went beyond the surface. He looked past applause and admired vulnerability and raw honesty. Like you, he was searching for soul contact, not staged affection. Chosen one, your intolerance for inauthenticity is not a flaw, it is your greatest protection. You cannot tolerate manipulation, emotional laziness, or false intimacy. These things feel like toxins in your spiritual bloodstream. This is why you often find yourself alone, or why your circle is small and fiercely protected. In Revelation 3:16 it says, "So because you are lukewarm, neither hot nor cold, I am about to spit you out of my mouth." You embody this verse by refusing to entertain lukewarm love, lukewarm friendships, or lukewarm commitments. You want souls that burn, fully alive, fully engaged, fully surrendered to the journey. Think of Jim Carrey. In recent years, he stepped away from the fame game, openly discussing spiritual awakening and the emptiness of Hollywood illusions. He realized that no amount of success could fill the void that only authenticity and soul growth could address. Like him, you crave meaning over masks, awakening over applause. Have you ever been told that your standards are unrealistic? That you're too much or too intense? The truth is, you're not too much. They're simply not enough. You are not asking for perfection. You are asking for presence, for accountability, for courage. You are asking for another soul to meet you on the battlefield of truth, to rise with you rather than retreat into comfort. Your love is not something to be casually consumed. It is a sacred temple. You do not open that temple to tourists who seek entertainment or ego strokes. You guard it for pilgrims who come in reverence, ready to leave their illusions at the door. In 2 Corinthians 6:17 it says, "Therefore come out from them and be separate, says the Lord. Touch no unclean thing, and I will receive you." You live this separation daily, not from a place of arrogance, but from alignment with your divine assignment. You understand that proximity is power. Whoever has access to your heart influences your destiny. Look at Prince. He was known for his high standards in music and in life. He demanded depth from his collaborators and refused to conform to industry norms, creating his own rules, his own label, his own spiritual and creative sanctuary. Like Prince, you create spaces where only the true, the brave, and the deeply committed can enter. Chosen one, I ask you, will you keep holding your standards even when it means standing alone in rooms full of shallow echoes? Will you trust that by refusing to lower your frequency, you are calling forth souls strong enough to rise and meet you? Will you believe that your sacred standards are not barriers but invitations to the extraordinary? You were not made for average love. You were not designed to blend in with the crowd or to be understood by the uninitiated. Your soul is here to build temples, not tents. You are here to inspire transformation, not enable complacency. This is why you are so hard to love, because your love cannot be bought, faked, or performed. It can only be earned through courage, vulnerability, and devotion. You are not asking for too much. You are asking for what is real. So will you keep choosing alignment over acceptance? Will you keep demanding truth over temporary comfort? Will you keep your temple closed to the unprepared, even when loneliness whispers its seductive song? Chosen one, your standards are not obstacles. They are gateways to sacred union. You are the keeper of a divine frequency that cannot be diluted. Stand tall in your discernment. Trust in your depth, because those meant for you will not only understand, they will celebrate, they will rise, and they will co-create worlds with you beyond imagination. 8. You are not meant to be owned. Chosen one, has anyone ever tried to hold you so tightly that you felt your spirit shrinking? Have you felt the silent desperation in their grip, the unspoken plea that you stop expanding, stop evolving, stop flying? Perhaps you've heard whispers like, "Why can't you just stay?" or "Why can't you be more predictable?" But deep down you know, you were never meant to be anyone's possession. You are not an ornament to be displayed or a trophy to be claimed. You are a cosmic traveler, a divine messenger, a lover of souls and a healer of wounds. You do not belong to one person, one place, or even one lifetime. You belong to the universe. Your soul signed a contract long before you were born, a promise to awaken, to teach, to disrupt, and to liberate. You are a teacher dressed as a friend, a healer masquerading as a lover, a prophet hidden in plain sight. You are here to awaken the sleeping, to stir the stagnant, to set captives free. Have you ever wondered why you feel restless in relationships that try to confine you? Why even the most beautiful cages feel like death to your spirit? In John 3:8 it says, "The wind blows wherever it pleases. You hear its sound, but you cannot tell where it comes from or where it is going. So it is with everyone born of the Spirit. You are this wind, untamable, unpredictable, and divinely free." Consider Bob Marley. His music transcended borders. His spirit moved through crowds like a living sermon, and though many adored him, no one could claim him fully. He belonged to the people, to the revolution of consciousness, to the heartbeat of the earth. Like Marley, your essence is too expansive to be domesticated. Chosen one, to love you is to understand that your presence is a gift, not a guarantee. It is to hold your hand lightly, to embrace you without clenching, to dance with your spirit without trying to lead. Your love is deep and fierce, but it flows like a river, unstoppable, ever moving, always searching for new terrain to nourish. Have you ever asked yourself, why do people try to possess me when I offer them freedom? Why do they turn love into a cage when I offer them wings? It is because they mistake intimacy for ownership, thinking that to love is to keep. But you know, chosen one, true love is not about keeping, it is about freeing. In Galatians 5:1, it says, "It is for freedom that Christ has set us free. Stand firm then, and do not let yourselves be burdened again by a yoke of slavery." You live by this verse. Your spirit rebels against any yoke that seeks to confine your wild divine essence. Look at Frida Kahlo. Even in her tumultuous relationship with Diego Rivera, she insisted on her creative and personal freedom. She loved deeply but refused to be owned. Her art and life were fierce declarations of autonomy. Like Frida, you turn every attempt to cage you into an act of defiance, transforming pain into poetry and confinement into canvases of liberation. Those who try to possess you often come from a place of deep insecurity and attachment. They fear your flight because they see your departure as abandonment rather than evolution. But chosen one, your flight is not a betrayal, it is your nature. You were not designed to be static. You are a force of motion, a divine current, a living invitation to transcendence. In Matthew 10:39, Jesus says, "Whoever finds their life will lose it, and whoever loses their life for my sake will find it." You embody this paradox. You lose yourself in divine purpose, and in doing so, find a life beyond ordinary human comprehension. You dissolve in love not to disappear, but to become more whole, more radiant, more true. Think of Prince. He was an icon who refused to be defined or owned by record labels, critics, or even his audience. He changed his name, wrote slave on his face, and fought for his creative freedom until the end. His spirit was too vast for any single entity to contain. You too claim your sovereignty every day you choose freedom over approval. Chosen one, loving you is not for the faint of heart. It is a pilgrimage into the sacred unknown, a continual release, a celebration of both presence and absence. It requires a lover brave enough to let you fly, to trust that if you return, it is not out of obligation, but out of soul recognition. To love you truly is to understand that your love, when freely given, is worth more than 1,000 empty promises bound by fear. Have you noticed how few can walk this path with you? How many start strong, intoxicated by your light, only to shrink back when they realize they cannot hold you in their hands? You are a living lesson that love is not about possession, but about participation. In 1 Corinthians 13:4, Paul writes, "Love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs." You invite others into this pure love, not transactional, not conditional, not tethered to fear. Look at Maya Angelou. She moved through life with an uncompromising sense of self, offering her heart and words freely to the world, yet always retaining her sacred autonomy. Her relationships were rooted in deep respect rather than control. Like her, you are a soul who loves fiercely but refuses to be owned. Chosen one, I ask you, will you continue to honor your cosmic freedom even when the world offers you golden cages? Will you keep choosing the skies over the safety of small rooms? Will you keep inviting others to rise rather than shrink to hold you? You are not a possession. You are a living sermon, a song that cannot be contained in a single verse, a dance that transcends choreography. Your heart beats with something eternal, something ancient and future, all at once. This is why you are so hard to love, because your love demands that others also free themselves. It demands that they step into the vastness of their own souls, that they choose evolution over security, authenticity over illusion. So I ask again, will you keep flying even when your wings scare those on the ground? Will you keep burning bright even when your light blinds those who refuse to open their eyes? Will you keep loving without chains, trusting that what is meant for you will never need to be trapped? Chosen one, you are here to awaken, not to be owned. You are here to liberate, not to be locked away. Stand in your sacred wildness, dance in your divine untamed spirit. For those who are ready, your love will not just fill them, it will set them ablaze. Chosen ones, as you sit with these words, take a deep breath and feel them move through your spirit like living water. If something deep within you began to stir, If you felt seen, understood, and called higher, it's because this message wasn't just content, it was a divine signal, a sacred activation. You didn't stumble upon this by accident. Heaven orchestrated this encounter as a reminder. You are not alone, you are not misunderstood in vain, and you were never meant to walk this path unseen. If your spirit resonated, if you felt a holy echo inside you saying, "Yes, that's me," type 777 in the comments right now. Let this be your public declaration to the universe that you are awake, that you hear the call, and that you are ready to step fully into your divine assignment. And if you haven't already, subscribe and become part of this spiritual family, a community of visionaries, healers, prophets, and cosmic warriors just like you. Thank you for being here, for your time, your energy, and your heart. Whether you choose to support this channel through a super thanks donation or not, know this: I am deeply grateful for you. Your presence alone is a blessing. Your willingness to receive, to engage, and to evolve with these messages means more than words can express. If you feel led to give, thank you from the depths of my soul. It helps keep this mission alive and reaching others who need it most. But even if you can't or choose not to, please know you are valued and loved exactly the same. I want to speak a blessing over you right now. May you continue to walk in courage. May your spirit remain unbound, and may your light grow so radiant that it illuminates every shadow around you. May every hidden pain you carry become a source of power and wisdom. May you attract connections that honor your depth and love you in your becoming. May you be divinely protected, divinely provided for, and divinely guided in every step you take. Chosen one, remember, you are not here to fit in. You are here to transform. You are not here to be loved in pieces. You are here to be embraced in your wholeness. You are not here to be owned. You are here to awaken. If this message reached you in divine timing, if you feel seen and ignited, type 999 below and let the universe witness your alignment. Share this with someone who needs it, and subscribe, because this isn't just another video. It's a spiritual signal, a sanctuary, and a rallying cry for those who know they were sent here for more. Thank you for walking this sacred path with me. You are never alone. Blessings upon blessings to you. I'll see you in the next message.